Hey everybody. Um, I'm going to talk to you guys about Web3 Power Tools and User First Web. I'm Luke. I work at Brave. I started early there. Worked on the BAT white paper. At Brave, what we've been doing over the past few years is kind of introducing passive crypto earning with the first kind of global private ad platform. So, oh, okay, got it. Oh,
If you guys can just exit the room quietly, thank
yeah.
you.
So we introduced passive crypto earning with the first global private ad platform, and we kind of scaled that up from proof of concept because no one had really ever done anything like that before with privacy in mind, and now it's a multi-million-dollar a month business. And so what we're trying to do is apply the learnings that we had there, because in a couple clicks, we have millions of people earning crypto without having to know how blockchains work or any of the cognitive load that is a hindrance to a lot of people getting started in this space. So we're taking those learnings. We introduced a wallet, a native wallet, into the browser in November on desktop and in mobile. So now we have like 54 million monthly active users that have Web3 wallets in their browsers by default. So we're kind of working now on taking those learnings of scaling millions of people into private advertising and figuring out ways to surface the wallet and get millions and millions of people using crypto. Which kind of, there's a lot of parallels between the attention economy situation on the web and wealth generation and wealth growth in financial markets, right? Like the people have been getting wrecked over since the 70s, right? Like and like truly wrecked. Like like this is not like, this whole thing's off the chart bad, right? Like, and this is pretty personal for me. Like, I've helped out family through tough situations because crypto has empowered me to help them. And I've got tools through the work that many of you in this room have put into building to be able to help people out in my life that are important. And I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. And so we're kind of taking that sentiment and driving it to the masses and figuring out ways to get this in front of many, many, many more people. And at the same time, like the situation with the web and privacy and user agency is wrecked as well. Like surrendering your privacy has basically become a business requirement for using the web. And so Brave, we've taken a really user-first approach to how we do everything. And that means that any third party that would try to collect your data without you knowing about it or in the background without your consent, and not consent, but consent as in like you're giving them the data, right? Like not them collecting it or harvesting it from you. We block all that stuff. And we even, to our own detriment, we block our own stuff because, you got to put users' priorities first. And just to kind of really drive the point home, there's 8,000 companies that most people in this room have not ever heard of that are all collecting and profiling your information and making a ton of money off of it. And you're getting nothing from that. Maybe like some ad that follows you around or, some menial thing, but you're not getting any type of meaningful reward for that. With all this together, it can be scary. Like you got like your privacy, you don't know where it's going. Like everyone's collecting your data and looking out and seeing what the current financial situation is in the world, like it's hard to imagine, what's going to happen. But the cool thing is we have like the tools, and like everyone here is flipping the script. Like if you're working on this technology, you're part of the solution. Like these are things like this is our shot to basically try to correct course in my own personal point of view. I mean, like we're at a point now where like we're running out of things for them to sell out. So like if we don't start to put tools in the hands of the people to take control of their own lives in an easy way, then we're just basically going to capitulate. And I don't know if anybody in this room wants that to happen. But you really get empowerment through disintermediation. So by having user-first web principles and from Web 2 era, like where you're keeping that user's privacy protected and you're making sure that they're the one in the driver's seat, and combining that with Web 3 communities and applications and protocols, we get this marriage of like control, agency, and empowerment that you're not going to get without it. And just to kind of rehash, right? Like your info, your device, your data, like your interests as a priority. Like neutralize any third parties that are trying to steal your info, and having it so that you're actually getting, because your participation in this ecosystem drives value, you should be getting rewarded for that. And then the same thing, similar things tie in with Web3 communities and application too. Like everybody's addressing problems as a community, everyone's working together. It's a collective effort, right? Like, and it starts with trustlessness. And so this is all kind of like a little bit higher level. You all know about the nuts and bolts of these things. But like, just like anything else, like this is going to be a progression, and it's going to be a mix of like hodgepodge, blobby, ugly, beautiful things living together, just like most radical innovations have been on the web. And the messiness is okay. There's going to be, but there's things to be kind of mindful of. But I think like the biggest thing I'm excited about right now is the ability to start. We're finally at this place where we can start empowering personal finance for millions of people. Direct deposit services are coming in where you can directly deposit crypto into your wallets in addition to buying through traditional on-ramps, et cetera. So you've got inflows in. Like Gensler was saying, $5 a week, so you can maybe earn 8%. That wasn't true. Like you're not even getting 1%, but then you flip it to, crypto and stable coins and you're getting 5 to 8%. This is something you can put in front of an everyday person and say, your digital dollars in Wells Fargo are getting you nothing and you're paying a monthly fee and there's a minimum on that. And what? Or, you can put it into a stable coin and earn 8%. Which one do you want? Like, ask any of your family that. They'll say, well, 8% sounds pretty good. That's empowerment. We're giving people things that they can, increase their value, increase their wealth. Married that in, like outflows, right? Like you've got the ability now, there's several cards in market where you can pay with crypto on Rails. Some of them have reward programs. So we've got this inflow route. We've got this way to kind of like save and earn. And we've got a way to spend things anywhere, whether it's e-commerce or in real life, anywhere these processors are accepted. The thing that I'm pretty bullish about, but not necessarily only applies to Brave either, but having this concept of banking from the edge in your browser, like and making that a reality. And these things have been piecemeal, but like one thing we're really focusing on is how we can put these things together and how we can make this easy for millions of people. And so like just an open invite, like I'm around this week, like if you guys are working on something that's interesting and that we can kind of surface up in a way that's easy for people to use, let me know. Because that's a challenge with us. We're in a different position. We have millions of people, so you want to surface things that are safe, and you also have to appeal to people that are testing this stuff and building these things too. So we want to let everybody play how they want to play, and then we also want to distill down the real common sense added value things that people will understand and help to kind of tell that story, tie those things together, and get people transacting in this model. Also, like just some thoughts to keep in mind, because like I inspect a ton of traffic on the internet, like I did advertising before I came to Brave. I'm seeing some things that are kind of troubling, like when I go to a lot of sites. If we're really going in on this thing, I would just advise everybody to really keep user first principles in mind. With all of this new analytics around wallets and compliance and things like that, if you're putting Google Stack on your site and you're putting wallet analytics there to track all of your crypto transactions because you have to, you're leaving your users in a pretty bad spot, because if any authority needs to find anything out, you've just given them an even better fingerprint than they had before. So these are things to keep in mind. Like, it might not be fun to have the bells and whistles sometimes, but do you need them? Like, what are you tracking? What are the things that are important to your business? If you're, a DeFi application, do you really have to have Google Stack on your site? Like, these are just things to think about, because really, like, it's pretty trivial for somebody with the authority to figure everything out that you're doing, and especially on the crypto side too, when you add this in there. So just things to think about, right? Like, and just an example, right? Like when you're kind of building for user first, you go to a site, and this one was from TMZ, and the top example shows 124 requests. That's what you need to load on the page for a user to get the stories, the content. The other browser that doesn't protect the user's privacy loads 1,321 requests. So outside of that 124 that gives me the same exact story, all of these extra requests are taking my data and sending it to people I don't know and profiling it against other data they have, and it's all kind of in this Lumascape blob that's out there. So keep these things in mind, like, because there's a lot of pressure, right? Like everything's moving towards application level, and I'm already seeing like terms of service and other things that are basically like boilerplate from like, Web 2 or mobile app stuff. It is the wrong direction, in my view, to basically give the government a better fingerprint or give an adversary something else to take against you. And if we're all into this together, like, we should be really kind of being mindful around privacy and around protecting users' privacy. And I mean, we have kind of a batteries included approach with Brave, but with any other browser, there's things, ad blockers, tracking protection, all that stuff that you can apply to. But anyway, the best thing to do is to just try and not collect the data if you don't have to. So, this is kind of it. I mean, like, I thank you all. I just kind of wanted to give you all a view of what we're up to, where our heads are at. We're looking at, like, integrating native NFTs too. But if we can get the financial inflows and outflows plumbed in, easy for millions of people to start using, I think that's getting us up on the right foot.